Hello. It's time for the podcast. I hope you're well. I'm so good. Will, how are you?
I'm all messed up. I haven't had time to put my notes together, so it's going to be a wacky show. It's going to be all off the cuff. I don't know what's going to happen.
I haven't had time. We're 30 minutes late. I switched out all the cameras. That's why you see more leg.
Hey.
We're working on it. Welcome.
No, that's on Patreon.
Saving that for the Patreon. We have so much to talk about.
We got a show today.
Did you know that they're already talking about the PlayStation 6?
That's right. Switch 2 is dead. Throw it in the trash. Don't get it.
Don't
PlayStation
even
6
bother.
is coming out.
Garbage. Yeah. So also Xbox today. They were like,
don't forget about Xbox. We make consoles too, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's stuff. And then what else do we have here?
We got a smattering of other things. Konami had a showcase. They weren't part of Summer Games Fest. They decided, we'll do it after.
Friggin' Switch 2 consoles getting banned.
Yeah,
Careful
watch out.
there.
That's why you got to get yourself an Xbox Next box or a PlayStation 6. We got more details on Resident Evil Requiem, which I'm excited about. We have a price for Borderlands 4. Stay tuned for that. We got the Mindseye debacle and more.
We got a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And we will get right into it, right? We got nothing important to say.
So.
Well, I will say we're going to be at Too Many Games in
Yes.
like 2 weeks. We have a panel on Saturday and a signing immediately after. So if you like us, come. Hello. Hi.
And if you don't like us, come anyway.
Come whenever you want.
Yeah.
Come at your own terms. Anyway, thank you very specially to Scattered Brain for the 48 months. Garrison with the 19 months. Bezos Bucks. Majin Jameson with 35 months. Genjur Gaming. Gamma? Gifting a sub. Big Daddy Mayhem, thanks for 31 months. Long live the Switch 2. And I believe. Oh, Daniel Dueling with the $5. Yes, my favorite show. Everybody loves Raymond. I've gotten that before.
That's Long Island Zone.
Yeah, where are they in the show?
I should know this because I have the episode seared in my mind when he has the map of Long Island and he circles where his parents live and he's trying to explain to his wife where they need to live. Like they can't live too close because otherwise the sauce will be too hot and they'll be over every day, but they can't live too far. So because then the sauce will be too cold. So they gotta live right. I had
this exact same conversation when I was finding a house.
Yes, I was trying to explain this to my wife as best as I could, and she doesn't understand it.
Anyway, let's get to the very beginning.
Yes.
And go. And now's the time and do it.
All right.
And yes.
PlayStation 6.
Go.
Okay, yes. Sony is discussing the PlayStation 6 already during a business presentation hosted by several top Sony executives. President and CEO Hideki Nishino responded to a query about future PlayStation hardware and if next-gen PlayStation 6 consoles was even necessary when cloud gaming has improved over the years. According to Nishino, while cloud gaming is progressing well from a technical standpoint, certain challenging aspects like end-to-end network stability remain out of Sony's control. Nishino added that cloud-based gameplay is still a viable option for gamers and allows them to access more content, but the local execution of games via physical media or content downloaded directly to the console remains in the high demand by a majority of PlayStation gamers. Our belief is that the majority of players continue to want to play and experience gaming through local execution without dependency on network conditions, Nishino said. PS5 and PS5 Pro have validated this thesis. On the topic of the next-gen PlayStation console, Nishino remained tight-lipped. Our console business has evolved into a multifaceted platform, and we now have a large ecosystem of highly engaged players across both the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 generations. So naturally, there's a huge interest in our next generation console strategy. Nishino said, while we cannot share further details at this stage, the future of the platform is top of mind. We are committed to exploring new and enhanced ways for players to engage with our content and services.
Okay.
The big takeaway from that is that the PlayStation 6 is very much going to be a traditional upgrade to a video game console. It's not going to be a cloud-based system. It's not going to be a streaming box. It's going to be a big beefy boy.
I think that is what PlayStation is holding on. Like PlayStation, that's their market.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've carved out for themselves.
Yeah.
Which is just like, I don't want to say they carved it out. Everyone else carved their own area and like made a path for PlayStation to have the physical, big, expensive, powerful box in the living room.
But Sony is very much, in a way, they're like the last of the old traditional
home
video
consoles.
game console experience. So that's their market, and they're sticking to that, and the fact that part of that is being either physical media or download direct to system, not streaming over the internet for their games. And I think they're right. I think as good as cloud gaming has gotten, it's still not the same experience as downloading it directly to your system.
Part of that is also that their cloud services are bad.
Yes.
They've gotten a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
They were a little bit behind though. The PlayStation Now, well, you know what? They were at like the forefront of cloud stuff.
Yeah.
They just maybe they were too early and they didn't know really how to navigate it.
Well, I think they've been
PlayStation Now was rough.
They've been leapfrogged by Xbox.
Yeah.
And other clouds, Nvidia, GeForce Now,
and they used Microsoft services to stream their cloud stuff. So they were that was losing for them no matter what.
Right.
But yeah, Microsoft straight up lost the console war the last 2 generations.
Yeah.
So Microsoft is finding their footing in service-based gaming and cloud gaming. So it wouldn't really make sense for Sony to compete in that way. We always say that the next Xbox console might not be a physical box, although it's looking like it probably is. But we've said in the past that like they might just...
It might be a service. It might be a platform.
Yeah, they might just abandon it. I mean, technically, the next Xbox might just be a PC. So it might be them pretty much abandoning the console. But it's looking like PlayStation is going to keep doing physical stuff, and Xbox is going to be more amalgamous. They're going to have a physical presence in the living room, but there's still a possibility they don't even have a disc drive on the next Xbox.
Yeah.
On PlayStation, it sounds like they still want to have a physical disc drive.
Yeah.
But more and more games are releasing now that require you to download stuff anyway, even if it does have a physical disc. So that kind of doesn't mean much to me at all.
But yeah, it looks like Sony still sees streaming as a tick box on the back of the box rather than like the selling point of the system,
Yeah, and that's fair. People still are not optimistic about cloud streaming.
Yeah.
The only really, I mean, it's cool to have cloud streaming. Like Nvidia GeForce Now is like cool because like maybe you don't have a computer that's powerful enough to play some games. Maybe you just have a Steam Deck, and like that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think cloud streaming in terms of like the Xbox cloud streaming is kind of cool because if you have the subscription and you just want to try a game, you don't have to download the whole game. You don't have to wait to download 50 to 100 gigabytes of a game.
Right.
You can just jump into the game, see if you like it, and then download it after. So I've used it like that before. And that's cool. But PlayStation isn't really in a position with their services to even have, like, they have functionality like that, but they don't have like the catalog.
Yeah. I think
they have a lot of great games, but they don't have like a new game comes out, and if it's an Xbox game, I can just try it on the cloud before I download it. But that doesn't really happen with PlayStation.
I also think, the way cloud gaming is packaged, it's packaged like Netflix. It's a subscription and you get like a library of games to pick from. And for a lot of people, their gaming habits don't really line up with that. You subscribe to Netflix and you could put anything on in the background and, get your money's worth of your Netflix subscription within like, a week or two.
Yeah.
Right. With gaming, though, you're usually picking one game at a time to like sit down and play.
Yep.
And, for 3 months, your Game Pass subscription could just be one game. are you really getting your money's worth then out of that?
No, that pretty much equals one game.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
$60
Yeah.
right there.
So for a lot of people, like the value proposition just isn't there for cloud streaming.
And I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
It's
They're saying muted.
We were muted.
Okay.
I don't know how long we were muted for.
Okay.
I was talking about how Expedition 33, I think, was Game Pass.
Yeah.
Oh, you did it.
Oh. Oops.
Um,
Keep that away from me. I wanted to talk about how Nishino brought up PlayStation 4 still. He said we now have a large ecosystem of highly engaged players across both PS5 and PS4. So, like, what does that tell you? Like, PS4 is still very much, a popular system for a lot of people. It's still a viable system for a lot of people. For a lot of developers, they're still putting games on PS4. It was a big deal at Summer Games Fest was, a few weeks ago. And a lot of people were talking about, hey, man, they're still putting down games on PS4. So,
like what games?
A lot of the games that were announced there, like Call of Duty is still coming to PS4.
Really? The next Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So
like, I could see people holding onto the PlayStation 4s for games like Fortnite and Warzone because those are free games and they're going to get updated no matter what. A game like freaking the next Call of Duty? Like, give it up. Like,
I think that says something that, like, yeah, the PlayStation 5 is selling well, but a lot of people are still hesitant to give up their PlayStation 4s, or maybe there's people who can't afford the PS5 just now and can find a PS4 on a good discount. Like, those people exist. They're out there. So that leads me to believe that PlayStation 6, this article quotes Shuhei Yoshida thinking it might come out in 2028. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see the PlayStation 6 till like 2030.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, the PlayStation 5 has been out for a while.
Yeah. And like generations now are usually like 7 years at this point, 6-7 years. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like this generation has been like, I know we're like 5 years in, but it's been very slow. It's been very slow to like really evolve and like catch on and like wow people the way previous generations have.
Yeah, I mean, it's been selling a lot, but it had a rough start. I mean, it sold a lot in the beginning, but it just it was sold out very frequently. So I don't know what it's like out there. Like, I know it's selling a lot and it's doing really well, but I still feel like not a lot of people it's not obtainable for a lot of people. I think it's just expensive. I think it's just too much for people to handle in America in the past like 5 years it's been out, because of COVID and now nobody has any money.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Also, I'm sorry, it's dropping frames. I don't know if I'm trying to figure it out. I have no idea what's happening. It's only on Twitch. YouTube isn't dropping frames, so I don't know. Anyway, and that's weird because the YouTube stream takes from the Twitch stream. So I don't know. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. While we were talking, also, I was canceling my PlayStation Plus subscription because I get a notification every month like, oh, I'm still paying $18 for that.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to have that. I never use it. Same thing with I gave up on Game Pass a while ago, I think.
Yeah, I haven't had either for like 2 years now. And I don't miss it. I don't miss either of them.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I'm fine. I think if you're experiencing buffering watching this on Twitch, nope, never mind. I was gonna say lower the resolution. Sometimes that helps, but I just got buffering again anyway. All right, I'll see what I can do about that. But in the meantime, we will thank John Crawford, thanks for the 43 months. What do you think of the new Xbox PC front end, especially in the light of your recent Aya Neo experience? Enjoy the sub. We haven't actually seen that, have we?
We just seen like the
Yeah, there's no like
concept art,
actual overview as far as I know. I'm extremely excited for Xbox to have a PC front end. Yeah, I do mention it in my Aya Neo video. I have the Aya Neo 3 over there. It is a janky hot mess. But I managed to put Bazite on it. And with Bazite on it, you get a whopping 28 gigabytes of video memory. For comparison, your Steam Deck has 6. I think. I'm not even 100%. Big Daddy Mayhem, thanks for 31 months. Long live the Switch 2 Series X. Thanks so much. Like you're on 24 and it's trying to convert it to 30. No, that's not what's happening. Pretty sure we're 30 on every camera here. I'm literally seeing the stream is dropping frames.
Okay.
You know what I could do? I can hit pause here. And we're back. Anyway, that was it for the PlayStation 6 news that we want to talk about. But what not to be outdone, Xbox is like, we got
hey, remember us?
We got things happening too.
Microsoft has confirmed it is working with AMD on the next gen Xbox consoles. In a post on social media today, Tuesday, Xbox President Sarah Bond announced that the company has signed a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices that includes the next-gen Xbox consoles. At Xbox, our vision is for you, to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, Bond said. That's why we're investing in our next-generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. Together with AMD, we are advancing the state of art in game silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation to unlock a deeper level of visual quality and immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI. Of course,
cool.
All while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games. Bond said the partnership is about building you a gaming platform that's always with you so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want without locking players to a single store or device. She also said the Xbox is working closely with Microsoft Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming.
So there's a lot. There's a very short little video that I saw on Twitter, but there's a lot to unpack it.
Yeah, I think that what I just said is everything that's
everything that she said. Yeah. But there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Number one, they're mentioning the next Xbox.
Right.
Number two, it's AMD.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's good. I mean, they've always used AMD.
Yeah, but, it's the same as current. And PlayStation uses AMD.
Did the original Xbox use NVIDIA?
Like the 2001 Xbox?
Yeah. Or am I just thinking that because they're both green?
No, I think they used Intel. I know Xbox 360 was a power PC.
NVIDIA's 233 megahertz NV2A. That's the GPU they used.
What about the CPU?
360 was IBM. First Xbox was Intel. Okay, well that's probably the CPU.
Yeah,
GPU
that's what I meant.
Is NVIDIA 233. The GPU is the one that we care about for all of these.
I think AMD is making both.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because AMD made the CPU starting with the Xbox One and the GPU starting with the Xbox One.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That all makes sense.
Yeah.
That is not even a big deal to me. The fact that they're in the PC handheld space now, and NVIDIA AMD has made a name for themselves in the PC handheld space. They kind of dominated the PC handheld space. The fact that AMD dominated that space and Xbox has a handheld there, and Xbox also is going to be making their silicon for their next console. That sounds really cool. It sounds like there will be a lot of parity between the handheld that we have, the Asus handheld that we have,
Right.
and the next Xbox.
But again, like them working with AMD isn't that revolutionary because they've been working with AMD since the Xbox One.
No, when I saw that they mentioned that they're going to be partnering with AMD, it sounds like they were forced to make a statement, which to me sounds like it's a new partnership that like
right.
They like redid their contract or something.
To me, like the big deal is that she specifically says it's across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. Like we talked before about PlayStation is the traditional box that you plug into your TV and you play your games that way. Microsoft is really leaning in on the whole everything is an Xbox situation.
Right.
And they're doing everything in their power to make sure that like you get your Xbox games, you know, in your dedicated box under the TV, on your computer, through your toaster oven, you know, shit like that. So
yeah,
that's their next gen strategy going forward.
I got a text message from our friend Jerry today. He said he linked this video and said the next Xbox is gonna be a hybrid like the Switch. And I said to myself, I said, in what could they have possibly said?
Yeah.
And the one line that got it was I think it was, that's why we're investing in our next generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories. No, she says whether it's in your living room or in your hand. That's what she said.
Okay.
And it's like, no, she means like the handheld that's coming out later.
Yeah. No, I think this is definitely the next evolution of the hybrid console.
Yeah.
Where like it's not necessarily a console, it's just like a nebulous ecosystem where you can like get your game anywhere you want, so as long as you buy it through them.
Right.
You know. Although she did mention like she's working with other stores, so maybe we will get that Steam integration on Xbox.
That's the other really big thing that they mentioned here is that regardless of where you buy your games.
Yeah.
So that means to me that means Steam. Because we already know that they're going to have some sort of Steam integration with this handheld. Or no, we know that they're going to have some sort of Steam integration with the next version of whatever Xbox app they have.
Right.
And it seems like that app will be very similar to what's going to be on the console. So to me, it sounds like they're going to allow you to buy games through Steam and play it on their console, which would be absolutely massive to me. All the games I've been buying within the past couple of years have been Steam games.
Yeah.
So being able to have that same library on my, like, I don't need to have a PC in my living room. If it's an Xbox, that's killing two birds. I don't need an Xbox and a PC in my living room anymore. I can just have one thing.
Absolutely.
And I don't even need a Steam Deck there anymore because I'll just have it on there. So that sounds fucking awesome to me.
Yeah.
I have an idea for this.
Okay.
You can go to the next one.
Oh, he shouldn't have said do whatever I want. Oh, that was a bad idea. That is a bad idea. Oh boy, he should not have said do whatever I want. No, wait, I couldn't think of anything to do. I couldn't improv. What is next? Sony is not worried about the Switch 2. That's what the next article is. I did not.
Well, I'll save you. I'll pause the thing.
Okay.
My idea didn't work. We're having technical difficulties here, but it is what it is. If you can't stand the buffering, watch it. Watch it later, please. Anyway, the second I started doing the recording, the frames dropped immediately.
Okay.
This might be a VOD show. Anyway, what were we talking about? We're talking about Xbox. We kind of finished.
We finished talking about Xbox. Now we're up to Sony isn't too worried about the Nintendo Switch 2. Sony is monitoring the Nintendo Switch 2 as a competitive console, but because of the PlayStation 5's differentiated strategy, they're not too worried. In a newly published Game and Network Services segment, Fireside Chat, Hideki Nishino, Sony Interactive Entertainment President and CEO, addressed concerns that Nintendo's positive and developing relationships with third-party developers will lead to a tougher competition from Nintendo in the coming years. Nishino dismissed any concerns and asserted that a handheld like the Switch 2 can't keep up with the PS5's level of performance required to create a great experience on big screens. The Sony boss also added that despite how common it is for games to be multi-platform nowadays, he's confident that the PlayStation 5 is the best place to play. We have a differentiated strategy. That's the word. Differentiated. We have a differentiated strategy. So the PS5 is designed for an immersive gaming experience, and this includes the innovative DualSense controller features as well. Nishino added, we believe PS5's level of performance is required to achieve a great experience on big screens, and in this way, we have provided a unique offering for players and creators in this current console generation. Publishers are increasingly shifting towards being multi-platform so more platforms can run the same game, which is great from a creator's perspective, he added. Among those platforms, our mission is that we will continue to be the place, will continue to be the best place and to play and to publish. As such, we have empowered our creators to leverage our offerings and services to create an amazing, unique experience for players with high engagement and great monetization opportunities. So they ain't worried. What do you got to worry? Nintendo, not even in their league. You connect the Switch 2 to a TV, looks like ass. Why you got to do that? You want the best. You want a PlayStation 5, baby.
I understand why he's saying that, but that's not why. Again, that's not why people are buying a Switch.
I know. I think
he's saying that because that's what
he has to say.
PlayStation's home is right now.
Yeah,
PlayStation 5 is for people who want a console that is going to get them the most visual fidelity.
Yeah.
But the Switch is about the versatility. That's the only reason why anybody ever wanted a Switch. All that and also Nintendo games.
Yeah, I think, he had to say all that because he had to make sure like he was protecting the brand and stuff. But, he's not exactly wrong. Like, people get these systems for two very different things.
Yeah.
The Switch was a runaway success, but the PlayStation 4 was a very successful console, so more than the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
So there's room in the market for both of them. They do two different things, and they do them both very well.
Yeah.
So
the Switch 2 is doing extremely good right now. Also, it's pulling its own weight with the amount of the quality of the games that are being pumped out. Like, it's still not comparable to a home console like a PlayStation 5,
right?
But it's putting up a good fight against all of these PC handhelds that have been on the market right now.
Yeah,
and it's smaller and way more power efficient and silent. So it really makes me think about how this is basically an NVIDIA PC handheld.
Yeah.
So imagine what they could do with a little more money and a much bigger console. That would be a much crazier PC handheld if NVIDIA got involved in that way.
If you think about it, like the Switch 2 is much less expensive than like a typical PC handheld.
Yeah.
But imagine if it wasn't. If it cost the same and like had the horsepower to match that price.
Yeah, if NVIDIA made like an $800 one, like that would be pretty fucked up. Anyway. I mean, if someone else sold the Switch 2, how much do you think it would be? Probably like $600-700.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo can take a little bit of a hit,
Yeah. But they usually don't. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're making a profit on it, but like not as much as like an Asus would be to make,
Yeah.
Anyway, Uber Yoshi, thanks for the 11 months. Don't forget to drop them boys your Prime sub. Oh my God, thank you so much. Give us your Prime sub. I need it so bad. Vicarious, thanks for the 2 months. I have no idea if we're even live anymore.
I think so.
Let's talk about this before we get into all of our little fun things. Switch 2 hackers being banned.
Oh, yeah. Did I put that in my notes? No. Okay. The original Nintendo Switch had such a massive piracy problem, hackers were able to play new first-party games weeks before they were available to the public. Since its release in early June, hackers have wondered if the Switch 2 might have similar vulnerabilities, but early reports suggest that Nintendo has anticipated typical methods of meddling with its portable hardware. Hackers on social media sites are beginning to share photos and anecdotes about their efforts to modify the Switch 2 only to be hit with bans that restrict the usage of online connectivity. This means that hackers can't use things like the eShop or play online multiplayer games like Mario Kart World. Must be some new detection Nintendo has on these, one Redditor wrote. Pretty dumb of me to go online with it. That's on me. The user says they used a type of flash cartridge favored by hackers on the original Switch, which allowed them to download and load games onto what is essentially an SD card. Since it is literally a cartridge, some hopeful hackers popped it into the Switch 2 to see what would happen. At first, it seemed like the answer was nothing. One user claimed that the cartridge wouldn't load past the title screen. That same user now says that their console as a whole appears to be banned and that they attempted to contact Nintendo customer support and they were told nothing could be done. Nintendo did not immediately respond to requests for a comment. News of these bans is unlikely to deter hackers, though, as creators of the Flash cartridge claim they are still working on ensuring their products can be used on the new console. Elsewhere, Reddit communities specifically dedicated to hacking the Switch 2 are arguing whether or not it's safe to try and log into accounts that were banned on the Switch 2. But fear around having their new $450 system restricted in some way is making them cautious.
I think, I don't know if that, which article is that?
This is Polygon.
Polygon?
Yeah.
Okay. The IGN article says, on YouTube, gaming emulation channel Scattered Brain, who is in our chat, or was at least before, has posted a video showing their now banned Switch 2 console and said that simply signing into another Nintendo account on the device did not lift the ban, which seems to be applied at the console level. This video shows banned Switch 2 consoles can still be played offline, so Nintendo has not chosen to completely disable or brick these consoles for now, at least. So if you have a MIG Switch, it's not gonna brick your console, but you're not gonna be able to play it online. So go watch Scattered Brain's video for that. But that seems inevitable. Like when I did my video on the MIG Switch, I haven't used it on a. I don't like the MIG Switch. I think it's just a stupid thing. Like it's like an R4, but like worse because it works not as good. And it's not MIG's fault. It's Nintendo's fault for trying to skirt around it. But having the functionality where you have to take the cartridge out and put it back into Switch games doesn't work like most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's like a little broken. It's not a convenient way to have all of your games in one little package. And after all that, even when I was using it, I made sure my device was offline completely. And I used an old Switch that I don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
I wonder now if Scattered Brain or anybody tried to use their Switch or try to use their account on a different Switch. Like is your account banned?
Your account is probably banned, but they probably enact the ban on a system level.
It is on a system level.
Yeah.
So like if you get another Switch 2, can you log in on your account?
Probably not. Like they probably flag both now.
I would like to know. But yeah, I would never have wanted to use the MIG Switch on my main. I would be a little upset if my main Nintendo account got banned because I've had that for a really long time. I like the MIG Switch dumper.
Right.
Because the dumper just dumps your game.
Right.
And I like to dump the game and put it on a different console. So I think if you're gonna be using if you're that's the way to use the MIG products.
Right.
Because playing playing a ROM on a on like a real Switch, it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Just play it on your PC or something if you have a PC. Anyway. Give it 2 months until there's an exploit. Yeah, I'm sure there will be. I'm sure that there will be. I mean, there's people already figured out how to get into like the dev tools of the Switch too, or like the factory like settings. I'm sure people will get Linux on that thing in no time.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, backlog. Now I gotta say, I think we nailed that.
Must have.
Welcome to the Backlog.
Backlog is a segment of the WULFF DEN Podcast. This is very podcast right here, where we go through our entire video game collection of 983 games. Bob still hasn't added his Switch 2 games. We pick one at random and talk about it, regardless of whether or not we've played it.
982.
983.
Oh, I missed one.
Yeah.
790.
790. That would be the Bible game for the original Xbox.
As you all know, big Bible fan.
Yes. It is the real good news, everyone. This is 100% they were throwing this out in GameStop and you were like, I want this.
I may have actually purchased it.
Why?
At GameStop. I think it doesn't have a case. Like, we didn't even have the case for it. I think this was a situation where it was like $1.
Okay.
And I was like, look, Scott the Woz has a video on it. Like, it's
it can't be that bad.
That was 7 years ago. Christ. It's a big deal meme game.
I do remember when this game like came out. It was like this is before like memes were like as prevalent as they are now, but like this is like a pre-internet meme. Like everybody knew about it. Everybody knew how like weird and silly it was. But it wasn't one of those games that like you actually like wanted to own. It was just something you saw either on TV or at GameStop.
It is like I don't know, like a weird Mario Party type quiz like game show thing, but like there's a bunch of like Mario Party style mini games that all look just awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's a meme game. It's a meme game because the concept is ridiculous. But also here you're running through Moses's friggin' parting the Red Sea.
Yeah.
A lot of weird moments like that in the game. Playing through, you're doing Mario Party mini games in story beats from the Bible.
You know, the Bible has a long history of being video gamified, as it were, dating back to the Nintendo Entertainment System. And it's always weird trying to adapt stories from the Bible into contemporary video game context, you know? Because we've had examples of like, probably the most infamous example is Super Noah's Ark 3D, which is literally just Wolfenstein, but you're Noah and you're putting goats to sleep to put them on your ark. And then, you have like the platforming games and you have like, the Bible trivia games and this, which is trying to be Mario Party, but for the Lord, it's.
Yeah. Here you are. You gotta put the animals together. Quick.
Yeah.
Hurry up. Put the animals together. Put them on the ark. I guess this, back in these days, when did this come out?
2005.
So this was around the time, maybe this was a little after the time when, moms all banded together and decided that video games were evil and they were the work of the devil.
Right.
So,
well, this is a post GTA San Andreas hot coffee world.
So imagine you're a mom and your kid really wants to play video games, but you don't want to get them the traditional Halos or Call of Duties or whatever. You want to get them a game that they're really gonna be able to learn from.
Yeah.
So you get them the fucking Bible game. That's the niche that the Bible game resides in.
Yeah.
It was trying to capture that market. And you know what? I think it was probably pretty successful in that little market.
Maybe. I mean, this doesn't say anything about sales. It didn't review very well.
Oh, no, absolutely.
No.
Nobody liked this. But it's not like the moms are going to go to IGN and be like, how good is this game?
Yeah. Speaking of IGN, their writer, Juan Castro, felt it lacked biblical depth to attract religious people, while also criticizing the minigames as not being engaging. However, he noted that if a parent was looking for a cheap, non-violent game for their kids, they could definitely do worse.
Hey, they could do worse.
Yeah.
When I worked at GameStop, all the moms were coming in saying, my kid wants Call of Duty, but I don't want to get them a rated M game.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, well, here's Brink. It's rated T. So what would be better?
That's true. No,
Brink, I think, scored pretty low.
Yeah, it did.
So you might be better off with the Bible game. Don't play the Bible game.
But
just watch a
that
video.
still doesn't answer the question of why we have it.
Because that's always funny.
For Xbox. We don't own an Xbox.
I don't know what's funny. Because my GameStop had a very small original Xbox section, and it was around the time they were just getting rid of them. So there was like a little bin where it was like buy two get one for $5.
Okay.
So I would just take games out of there.
Okay, because I know like most of our original Xbox games are from that era, from you just taking them from GameStop.
Yeah, because we didn't have an Xbox.
Yeah.
So there was no reason for us to buy actual Xbox games.
I think none of the ones you got are like backwards compatible even.
Yeah, they're all weird. I wanted to get weird ones. So yeah, don't play the game. Just look up Scott the Waz's video and just watch that.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. We're going to continue our very laggy podcast for some reason. Goodbye.
Bye.
I do have to add a lot of games.
How many Switch 2 games did you get?
Only two.
Only two.
Mario Kart World and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome.
You didn't get Cyberpunk?
And Cyberpunk.
So three. Okay.
Did we talk about Cyberpunk on the show? I have it for 3 platforms now.
Okay. So if I have it for 1.
What do you have it for?
Xbox. But now I have
I was hoping you got it on PlayStation, because then we would have
No, I have it.
I have it on Xbox, I have it on Steam, and I have it on
right.
The new one.
The Switch 2.
Yes.
All right.
But a couple months ago I added, I think, my Steam games, or did I add my Switch games? I think I added my Steam.
You added your Switch games. I don't think
and my Switch games?
Yeah, your Switch 1.
Okay. I need to add my Steam games too, then. Got a whole shit ton of Steam games.
Are any of those physical?
Steam?
No, the
Switch games?
The Switch games.
Only no, none of them. None of them are physical.
They're all digital.
They're all digital.
Okay.
The Mario Kart came in the box.
Got it.
With the code.
All right. I just like to note, like.
So you're adding those?
Yeah, I will add them.
Okay. I'll add my Steam games after this. I got a fucking billion Steam games now. We might make it over 1,000 games.
Oh boy, yeah, that puts us up to 986.
Yeah, well, when I add Steam games,
next
episode will be at 1,000.
I only add Steam games if I sink enough time into them to like be able to talk about it.
I for sure have enough now. Okay. Next news: Konami Showcase.
Yes, I figure we'll just do what we always do for shit like this. We'll go through the games and see.
Yes, Metal Gear Solid Delta. Let me tell you all about it. There's a Bomberman instead of Ape Escape. Is there also Ape Escape?
No, for the Xbox version, it is Bomberman mode.
I love that.
Yes.
If I get this on the computer, do I get Bomberman mode?
No, Bomberman is exclusive to the Xbox version. Yeah, Ape Escape. Snake Burst Monkeys, as it's officially called, is for PC and PS5.
Oh, so you get the Ape Escapes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd rather the Bomberman.
You know, I feel like PC should get both. Especially because Konami owns Bomberman. So like, there's no reason why they can't just include that.
It doesn't make sense why PC gets Ape Escape.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought that was a Sony thing.
It is.
What the fuck? Well, so Sony now publishes games on PC.
Yeah.
So maybe the PC version is being published by the people who publish the Sony games.
That would be Konami. Konami's publishing it across the board.
Who publishes like Spider-Man for Steam?
Sony.
Is it Sony, or I thought there was another company?
No, Sony publishes it. They have another company port it.
Right.
But Sony is the name on the on the store page.
Spider-Man Steam page. Marvel's Spider-Man. Publisher, PlayStation Publishing LLC. It's almost like you just said that.
Yeah.
Nix's software.
Hashtag Will was right.
Nix's software, I think, is the one that
is the ported.
Yeah, they ported Helldivers, Stellar Blade, Lost Soul aside, and The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Well, that's unfortunate. But anyway, I do really want to play the new Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Now, a man named Snake Eater in the chat showed me on Twitter, I think. They are letting you preview the game on August, I think, 6th. And I remember that because that is when I'm getting married.
So, wedding's canceled.
Wedding's canceled. We got to play Metal Gear Delta that day. I can find that again. Yep. For players living in New York, you can try Metal Gear Solid Delta starting August 6th, and I won't even be in New York. Celebrate, we're hosting a one-day immersive experience at the Lightbox showroom in New York City, complete with a pop-up shop selling exclusive merch and limited time slots to play a portion of the game. Okay, that's what it is.
Okay,
so it's an event thing. You have to go. So that's not going to happen.
Right.
So the game comes out August 28th. You don't actually get to preview it early, only in this one little event, which I think I'll be fine if I miss that. That's plenty of time because I still have to beat Death Stranding 1 and then 2, which comes out in 2 weeks. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Metal Gear.
Okay, yes. Just fucking come out already. That's what I got to say about it. Darwin's Paradox. It's
that's Konami's 2D stealth game where you play as a squid.
Yes. Looks wacky. eFootball. They're bringing back football, people. Or soccer for you Americans out there. No, Konami used to have a big soccer game franchise, Winning 11 and then Pro Evolution Soccer. And I think those went to shit. Now they're trying again. So good on them. And now they're doing baseball, or baseball for you Americans out there. They showed off a new Yu-Gi-Oh game because that's still popular. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster, Suikoden Star Leap, Gradius Origins. This fucking guy who wrote this article. Remember Gradius? It's okay. I don't either, but that might be because it's an old school space shooter. You work at IGN, and Gradius is one of the known space shooter franchises.
Not have heard of Gradius.
If you're
why do I know about Gradius?
Your excuse better be because you're 12. That better be the excuse. In which case, how did you get a job?
This is a Gen Zer.
Yeah. Bless you.
Why do I know about Gradius?
Because it's Gradius. It's a known franchise. It's Konami's known space shooter franchise. It's
I just think that button doesn't work.
Okay. Hit the game fact button.
Oh, it doesn't work on that. What? It has to be on this scene for that to work.
All right.
You have to hit it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Gradius was the first game to implement the Konami code.
Oh.
And that was your...
I honestly didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's a seminal game in Konami's history and also just video games in general. So you should just fucking know what that is, dude.
I think it was on Nintendo Switch Online a couple times.
Yeah.
All right, next is deliver at all costs.
A thrilling action game where destruction, absurdity, and intrigue collide. It looks like you're in a truck full of balloons. Cool.
Interesting.
Eden Zero, based on the manga by Hiro Mashima. Survival Kids, a family-friendly multiplayer adventure that sees you work with other players to escape a sun-soaked island. And Silent Hill F. This is their big new entry in the Silent Hill series.
So wait, back up a little bit. Survival Kids was a Switch 2 launch game.
Really?
So Survival Kids, that's the game that was on Nintendo Switch Online that looked like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they just made a version, and it's a fucking launch title for the Switch 2.
Yeah, it says it's available exclusively on the Switch 2, and it's available now.
I didn't even know there were this many launch titles on the Switch 2.
Yeah, look at that.
It doesn't look good. Silent Hill F does look
good. Yes. It fuses the essence of Western and Japanese horror through what do I want to read here? Neoboard's producer Albert Lee added that many members of our team are longtime fans of Silent Hill, and said the focus was on creating a game that maintained the spirit of the series within a Japanese atmosphere. We should also expect the combat system to feel both fresh and familiar without being overly complex. Comes out on September 25th. Silent Hill, traditionally, the town Silent Hill is an American town, even though this is a Japanese-produced game. So this is the first Silent Hill to take place in Japan.
Okay.
So
how do you do that? How do you have the town, or does it have nothing to do with the town?
I don't know. I feel like it's probably not going to be called Silent Hill. I guess it's more about like the atmosphere and the vibe of like what you expect from a Silent Hill.
Okay.
You know,
I remember seeing this in the PlayStation Showcase, and I was like, "That looks like Silent Hill."
Yeah, and it was.
And I was like, "It can't be though. That's a Japanese schoolgirl," and then it is.
Yeah. But if you want more traditional Silent Hill, they announced a Silent Hill 1 remake in development with Blooper Team, the people who made the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Everybody loved that Silent Hill 2 remake.
Yeah.
Do people like Silent Hill 1?
People like it, but they don't like it as much as they do 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's I mean, Silent Hill 1 was already remade as Silent Hill 1 was already remade as Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the Wii and PlayStation 2 back in the day. That changed things though, because it was snow instead of fog, and there was really no combat element to speak of. It was a pure survival horror game.
So you had to run away.
You had to run away and hide from people.
That's like the mechanic that people say that they like about Silent Hill?
Yeah, because like
the combat, like you're not trying to kill everything.
What little I've played of the original Silent Hill 2, like I specifically remember the combat and it just not being good.
Yeah, but it's like
that's on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
But one of the big criticisms of the Silent Hill 2 remake is that the combat is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it changes the game. It's more like Resident Evil 4 all of a sudden.
Yeah, which is fine. Like that could work.
So I wonder what's going to happen here.
Yeah,
Silent
I don't know.
1 remake. Is Silent Hill 1 more of like you want to run away from people?
I would imagine so. Like, I don't know. My experience with Silent Hill is like playing a little bit of Silent Hill 2 on PlayStation 2. Like that's a series like that game at least. That's one of those games like I feel like I should have dedicated more time to, but never did. So now I have the remake now. Maybe I'll get to it one day. But yeah, so there you go. That was the PlayStation Showcase. That was the Konami Showcase.
The Konami Showcase that happened to have a lot of games that were also in the PlayStation
Showcase.
We can rapid fire a lot of these. Mindseye, which is a game that we were excited about.
Yes, not anymore. Apparently it was a complete disaster.
Yeah, I was seeing stuff and I was like, yikers.
I'll try to summarize it real quick. Mindseye, the first game from Build a Rocket Boy Studios, from Leslie Benzie, one of the main creative heads behind Grand Theft Auto.
This was the game that looked like it was the bad guy was Elon Musk, where you fought Tesla robots and you drove around Teslas, and there was like a
charismatic
brain implant situation going on, and Starlink and all of Musk's companies were like in this game in some way as the bad guy.
So his heart's in the right place.
So it looked interesting, but turns out
apparently it was big, buggy, disastrous mess. It didn't help that at the center of the controversy were Twitch streamers who were being paid to show off the game and talk about it at launch. A lot of them were having a really hard time saying anything positive about it because it was so buggy and broken. What made it even worse is that at one point, Twitch streamer Cone Carnage began live streaming the game, only to be told midway through that he could not continue. Quote, "The sponsor just paused the sponsored stream." They pulled his sponsorship midstream. Ironically, the direct result of this mess is that the game has only garnered more attention, both in the media and by gaming personalities who see an opportunity to pile on a flawed game that can easily lend itself to outsized reactions and ridicule. I know that the studio is delivering hot fixes as fast as they can. They said they want to fix it quickly and polish it up, but should have done that before the game came out. You know, that's the way it used to be done.
Yeah. So what are the reviews looking like for this game?
Bad. IGN gave it a 4.
So are they giving it a bad review because it's buggy?
Yeah.
Like a cyberpunk situation?
It's a cyberpunk situation, yeah.
I did see this one clip of this guy. It seemed like he just really did not like the game as he was playing it, and then he had to, give the call to action. Hey, everybody, check it out over on Steam. Go to Mindseye.
There was another.
I can't believe they pulled it away from a guy though.
Yeah. Worst reviewed game of the year.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So like Cyberpunk was a situation where even when I was playing it, I knew it was a buggy mess, but I was like, even if this wasn't a buggy mess, I still don't know if I would like it.
See, I was the opposite. Like, I was enjoying Cyberpunk in spite of like the bugginess and stuff, but then it got to the point where the bugs were too prevalent to continue. I booted it up again not too long ago on my Xbox when I was testing out my Series X, and was just like taken aback by how beautiful it was. And then I loaded up on Steam Deck because you got it, and I was playing a little bit of it. I'm like, oh yeah, no, this is actually fun. This is interesting. This is like, there's something to this. So like, that's a game that like had a good core concept that like got released too early. This, I don't know what the deal is with this.
Yeah. I need to see more about it. I mean, I don't know if there's room to save it. Like Cyberpunk's a different situation because people seem to think that it was a good game despite the bugs. But also it's from a big studio like CD Projekt Red, and people know that they're capable of really good games.
Mm-hmm.
This is from a brand new studio that people don't know anything about. So I don't know if there's going to be as much interest to play a fixed version of this game.
I mean, maybe. I don't think it helped. Before the game came out, the CEO of the company was like basically saying like accusing people of being paid to say bad things about the game online.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Paid by who? Rockstar?
I know. And like apparently 2 people, like 2 high ups in the company, quit before the game came out. So it's not looking good over here.
Maybe Elon Musk was paying.
Maybe. Yeah. It makes sense. We know he's done that allegedly. Also too, this is published by IO Interactive. It's one of their first games that they're publishing outside of the Hitman game. So like that's a black eye on them, if you ask me.
That's not good.
So they're probably like, what the hell, in Danish, because they're from Denmark.
That's an interesting case.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it goes better for them. I hope they're able to fix it.
Yeah.
That's it. They should have delayed it. No reason not to delay it if the game doesn't work.
Yeah, it has a 37 on Metacritic.
That
right now
is one of the worst scores I've ever heard of. That is so low. Well, anyway. Next news. Well, before we get into that, Jin Ribs, thanks for the Prime, and that's it. Capcom says game key cards count as digital sales. I mean, I'd hope so.
I just threw this in because I found it interesting. Capcom considers Switch 2's controversial game key cards release as digital titles. Asked in its most recent financial results whether sales of game key cards like Street Fighter 6 are recorded by the company as physical or digital units, the company stated that they would record them as digital sales. I find that interesting because like there is a physical product being sold. And digital sales, for whatever reason, aren't really as reported on as physical sales are.
Yeah.
Most companies don't disclose their digital sales numbers for whatever reason.
That's upsetting because that just means we're gonna have a harder time getting a peek at what the sales are.
Yeah. And like they may not sound like important, but like when you say a game sold well, like what does that mean exactly in the context of what? You know, a game like Street Fighter 6, you know, if that sells well on Switch, there's going to be a Street Fighter 7. But if it sells well on Switch 2, then that means Street Fighter 7 is going to be on Switch 2.
Yeah.
If it doesn't sell well on Switch 2, then we're not going to get Street Fighter 7 on Switch 2. So if Capcom says Street Fighter 6 sold well, what does that mean? Well enough for a next one or not well enough for a next one?
Yeah, I mean, Capcom, I think, is up there with like Square Enix, where they say that things don't sell well when really they sell like millions of copies. Yeah. Like their expectations are like way different than what they should be.
I didn't put this in the key, but apparently Devil May Cry 5 sold 10 million copies, and part of that was due to the success of the Netflix. Like
that's awesome.
Yeah, so like
I'm surprised how many people are playing Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah,
because
like
of Andor.
I know.
I'm like, that's the only game they could play.
Yeah.
And you know what? That game rose in popularity because everybody's playing it, but also there's like a lot of like there's YouTubers and streamers that are Star Wars Battlefront 2 streamers.
Right.
And I caught one on TikTok or something. And there's like a really robust lightsaber duel game mode. Like
really?
Like I think it's like you queue up with other people just to duel them.
Okay.
You pick a lightsaber character and you just 1v1 them.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe that game is good now all of a sudden.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather there be more Star Wars games that people could, if they're interested in a Star Wars thing, it'd be nice for them to have something to jump into.
Yeah.
Anyway, High Score Chef. Thanks for the raid. Got a raid.
Oh.
I'm Bob. This is about video games every Tuesday.
Hope you like video games.
Sometimes the stream gets choppy and you can't watch. So I'm sorry if that happens. Bob, your brother is starting to sound like Louis Armstrong for some reason. I think the audio is messed up. Maybe he just sounds like Louis Armstrong.
I was gonna try a Louis Armstrong impression, but you know what?
Best.
Yeah, some things are not worth it.
I think I can unplug the thing and plug it back in, or you could just restart your stream.
Yeah.
I bet you that would be better. Anyway, Resident Evil
Requiem will center on a new character, Grace Ashcroft. Ahead of a hands-off gameplay presentation, game director Koshi Nakashini outlined how Grace isn't a combat-hardened soldier or a survival expert of episodes past. In that way, she's more exposed and under constant threat, at least judging from the early gameplay demo. The demo that was shown starts off with Grace strapped to a hospital bed, seemingly soaking wet, injured, and to add insult to injury, she's also upside down. Demo,
not upside down.
Yeah. The demo then plays out from Grace's first-person perspective, Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village. The gameplay focused on simple object interaction, survival horror staples like screwdrivers, broken fuses, and overly ornate keys are still here as Grace skulked and breathed heavily around what appeared to be a rundown hotel. Much of the demo involves the fear of being attacked rather than actual attacks. Dark hallways, light switches that don't work, and barely any hints or objects to give Grace context about what's next. Eventually, an infected corpse fell out of a door onto Grace, But the dead body isn't really the threat. A giant creepy hand swinging across to grab the corpse, and it's attached to a giant ogre woman beast that bites the head off. Grace then spent the remainder of the demo fleeing the creature, which managed to bite her shoulder. This creature could even destroy the ceiling to create new paths. The demo concluded with Grace seemingly facing her demise, armed only with a medicine bottle. The game starts up again with a twist. The camera pans out to reveal a classic third-person perspective. The audience during this screening went wild. Capcom spokesperson said that you'd be able to transition between viewpoints throughout the game, offering, if not a difficulty setting, more of a jump scare setting. So the big takeaway from this is it's not like an action-focused game like Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil Village, and you'll be able to switch between first and third person.
So will you be able to switch on the fly?
It sounds like you'll be able to switch on the fly.
Because to me, it sounded like it might be a situational thing. Like sometimes you're first person.
No, you can. It's an option. Like I don't know if there's a button or if like you have to go into the menu to change it.
I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I would leave it at default, whatever they want it to be.
See, I don't know because like there were times playing Resident Evil 7 where I'm like, I feel like this would be better from third person.
Yeah, I mean, I want to play it the way the game was designed to be played. So, like, throw me in how you want me to play.
I mean, but
it's not easy to design a game both ways.
Yeah, it's like Resident Evil Village was designed to be first person, but they added a third person mode like later as part of like the Game of the Year edition.
Mm-hmm.
But like this, it sounds like they're designing it for both.
Yeah, and there's got to be one that's better than the other.
Right.
So give me that as default. What else? Another thing that's like kind of synonymous with Resident Evil that we've kind of lost in the past couple of years is, and I mean, this still doesn't have it, but 1, 2, 3, 5. You get to choose in the very beginning between whether or not you want to play as a man or a woman.
Not in 5, and not in 3.
Oh, yeah, not in 3. But in 5,
no,
you can't play as Shiva?
No. So in 5.
Is that just the second player?
Yeah, that's the thing. You
don't actually get to choose?
No, in 5 you play as Chris, and then player 2 plays as Sheva. I think if you beat the game once, you could play as Sheva, single player, but I'm not sure. But yeah, no, that's a Chris game.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I like about Resident Evil is you have the one story and then the other story with 2 people, and we haven't really been getting that.
Well,
we don't have that here, but you at least get to play as a woman.
We don't know because there's rumor that Leon is in the game.
Okay.
So we don't know if that means he's going to be a playable character or if he's going to be like a secondary character like Chris Redfield was in 7 and 8.
Probably that.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the Ada of the game.
Maybe.
Maybe you play as him for like a little bit, but like not really. It would be great if there was a second person.
Yeah.
Give me, because this is going back to more traditional Resident Evil because you're going to the mansion.
Raccoon City, yeah.
So it'd be nice to. I've kind of just given up on Resident Evil because it's gotten so far away from the games that I've liked.
Right.
It's like completely different now.
See, I think you didn't play 7.
No, I know that I'm making a mistake. I know I should be playing 7 and 8.
Right.
Because it is more close than I see in my head. But when I look at it, I'm like, that's not
right.
Resident Evil.
No. Well, the thing about 7 is, not to spoil it, but like at the halfway point, it turns into the Resident Evil member, just from first person perspective. And I feel like the remakes have been doing a much better job of bringing back like the classic Resident Evil feel, just in a modern context. But that said, the best Resident Evils are the ones that like completely shake things up. You had Resident Evil 1 and 2, and then the series got stale, and then 4 completely shook things up. And then 5 and 6, kind of ruined everything, and then 7 completely shook things up.
Yeah, I need to get over that. I need to just play it.
Mm-hmm.
I have, I think, 12 hours in Resident Evil 4, and it's only because I play that one area with the exploding barrel over and over and over again for testing benchmarks. Anyway, no, I'm interested in that game.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just jump into that. Maybe I won't even play 7 or 8.
Not like the story is that important.
Next news, no physical editions of Gears of War.
On Xbox. Despite assurances that the company still has plans for physical media last year, if you want physical copies of Gears of War Reloaded, you'll need a PlayStation 5. While the revamped version of Gears of War is available for $40 or £40, depending on where you buy it, and it's on Amazon right now, Xbox players will have no choice but to buy the digital version if they want to own it, at least at the time of publication. Not only will the game also be available on Game Pass at launch on the 26th of August, as well as on PC, but if you already own Gears of War Ultimate Edition from back in 2015, you'll get the new version for free. Still, physical collectors, particularly those who have existing hard copies of the franchise to date, will no doubt be disappointed. Yeah, they're only releasing physical copies of the game on PlayStation. They're not doing it for Xbox. The home system.
That makes zero sense.
It's part of a trend of like more and more Xbox is, despite what they say, they're releasing less and less games physically on Xbox.
Yeah, it's they're going to be all digital next generation.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
And that really does suck because like so many people have like physical media, especially if they're committed to backwards compatibility like they say they are. I hate the 360 era and the Xbox original era.
I hate to say this, but Xbox is transitioning more to PCs, to being PCs. It's just going to be a PC, and nobody buys physical PC games anymore. That's just not a thing.
I know.
It just doesn't exist. People just buy them on Steam. So they're going that way. They're just gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
So PlayStation is gonna be the place for physical media.
No, absolutely.
Like we said earlier in the stream. However, I'll leave a little caveat. With the PlayStation 5 Pro, you need internet to even just connect the disk drive.
Yeah.
So it's still not like the place to go for physical.
Right.
It's still not like the best place for physical stuff, but everything else seems to be bad now. So they're kind of all bad now. Anyway, Borderlands 4 won't cost $80. He's going back on what he said. He made a big stink and everyone got mad at him.
He said it's not his call. The big stink was when he said that if you're a real gamer, you'll find a way to pay the $80.
Yep.
So that didn't help. But no, the game will be. This is Eurogamer, so it's in pounds. But the game will be $60 on PC, and
that's cheap.
Yeah, and $70 for the Xbox and PlayStation version.
Why is it cheaper?
I guess because it's on PC. They don't have to pay a platform license.
Wouldn't Steam be the platform license?
Yeah, but it's lower than it is on Xbox.
Okay.
But of course, it's $90 for the deluxe edition and $120 for the super deluxe edition.
Super deluxe.
Yes.
Ooh. Size me.
I should also note that this article doesn't say it, but there is a special edition version of the game that does not come with the game. So no, it doesn't cost $80. It costs anywhere between $60 and $120.
I mean, $60. Is there a game that came out in my adult life that I wanted to get the super deluxe edition? I mean, like, there are a lot of games within a certain window where we liked getting the collector's edition because we liked the little statue.
Right.
But outside of that, I don't need all these little stupid digital codes. I don't need the season pass. I don't need all this shit.
I mean,
I just want to beat the game and the core game, and I don't want to do anything else.
I've done that. I've bought like, the deluxe edition of games when they came out.
I've accidentally bought
the and I felt ripped off.
Yeah.
Deluxe editions, like, you wait for the game to have come out, like you get them on sale, so you get everything at a good price. You should do that with all games, honestly, but like those especially.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember there being one that like felt like there was something in it that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And if it did, I felt angry about it.
Yeah.
It's mostly just playing the game early. And
Yeah.
like that makes me the most mad out of anything.
Yeah, well, that's the new trend now. You play it early.
Anyway, last news, and the chat wants us to talk about it. Bungie delays marathon
Yes.
indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
This is such a sad story
Yeah.
because I mean, well, they're delaying it, and it's presumably because they stole a bunch of artwork from the game.
So, according to this article, the delay follows a series of setbacks, including a noticeable dip in marketing from Sony, plagiarism allegations surrounding the project, and reports of low team morale, all of which signaled trouble long before the official announcement. But according to the note provided by Bungie, the delay mostly stems from user feedback from the alpha playtest.
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, I was watching some of the alpha, and people did have some criticisms about it, but it seemed like it was decent. Like, it didn't seem like there was like anything like. It didn't seem like people were that upset about
Like it was egregiously bad or whatever.
Yeah, it's a $40 game. So like it didn't seem like it was it seemed like it was in some middle ground between being like the next Destiny and being like a $40 game.
Yeah.
So like it looked like it would be a pretty decent game to me.
Right.
I think that I'm sure that they want to make some changes based on that.
Yeah.
But I think the most egregious thing is the stealing of artwork.
Yeah.
That because one of the coolest things about the game is the visual style, I think. And it turns out a lot of that visual style was plagiarized from one artist in particular.
Yeah.
And that's enough for Sony to jump in and be like, change everything.
Yeah.
And that'll take a really long time.
Well, what the studio said, they're going to focus on 3 areas of the game, including upping the survival game aspect with more challenging and engaging encounters, doubling down on the marathon universe, the marathon universe, doubling down on the marathon universe with more narrative and environmental story elements, as well as a darker tone that delivers on the themes of the original trilogy and the social experience, including proximity chat, so social stories can come to life. That changing the story elements to be darker in tone, closer to the original marathon games, I feel like that's their way of addressing the plagiarism accusations. Because if you look at the original marathon games compared to this, they look nothing alike.
So I want to address that because
Okay.
I did look at the original marathon games and I could see some similarities. Like people make it seem like it's like a complete departure.
Right.
But like the original marathon games, the enemies all had really bright, vibrant neon colors to them. And that's where they're getting some of the visual stuff from. And, it's like a space thing.
Yeah.
So I get it. But like the core to marathon is like you're in this like big ass maze and it's really complex and hard to get around. And like that's not this is an extraction shooter. It's like completely different. But also Marathon came out in the 90s. So like, it's going to look different. But no, this is like some of the art that looks really cool. And it's just straight up. This is this guy. I'm not even going to try to say what name that is.
Yeah.
But this is him showing that like some of the text that's in some of the elements in the game are straight up taken from like some of his poster designs.
Yeah.
And that's really upsetting because that's the graphic design in the game is what makes the visual style look so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that sucks. And you know what? I'm glad they're revamping the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because that's enough to and they should fire people for that. You can't just do that. You can't just steal artwork from somebody.
I mean, it's especially egregious that they're not egregious. It's noteworthy that they're delaying the game especially because they had recently Sony Interactive Entertainment Studio Business Group CEO Herman Holst insisted that Marathon was not going to be another Concord. Like they made a big stink about how like it's not going to be the same situation. We're not going to make the same mistakes we did last time.
Delaying it will help, hopefully.
Well, I mean, remember Concord was delayed like 8 years, so like.
Oh yeah. All right. Tweet of the week. From Eric Bardor. I don't even think this got a lot of traction. Oh yeah, it did. Uniform for every voice actor who does an on-camera interview. And it's just leather jacket with red bands on the arms.
I mean, but fuck, man, it's a cool jacket.
It's a cool jacket, dude. If I ever placed the game, I would wear this jacket.
I like how like the first response is Sam Witwer wearing
the
that
jacket.
fucking jacket.
And he's like, no way, dude.
He's like, yeah, I'm Darth Maul.
All right, now we're talking to you guys.
Yes. Let's talk to people who left comments on last week's WULFF Den Podcast over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/WULFF Den Podcast.
We got Pete, who said, I got the GameStop bundle and it got delivered on Monday. To my surprise, they must have messed up and put in an extra micro SD express card because the bundle originally comes with just one. I'll just save it for when my girlfriend upgrades.
Yeah, that's that. They're not getting that back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Did you see GameStop now has a new ad where it's a Switch 2 and like it says like it's a stapler and it says do not use.
I did see that. Yep. It's very cute.
Very cute.
Did you know that Walmart was sending out Switch 2 when people ordered Switch 2s that they came on launch day and they were being sent with Pringles and a little small.
I thought that was only
soda?
if you were waiting online.
No, it like shipped to people's
wow.
houses like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I saw an article that was like, I have diabetes and my blood sugar was getting low, and then I remembered Walmart shipped everybody a can of soda with Switch 2, and it saved my life or something. C Diggity Dub says, I thought I had Joy-Con drift while playing Mario Kart World, and then I realized I had tilt controls on.
Oh, maybe that was it.
Here's the trick to Mario Kart World and every Mario Kart game. Everyone plays with auto steering on,
right?
And people who say that they're not are lying, and it makes you better at the game, so just turn auto steering on.
Yeah.
And people are like, no, it's harder to grind, or it's harder to aim where you're going, or it's harder to go on the like off the track and do all the skips.
Yeah,
not true. Not just move the stick and you can force yourself out of the auto steering. This is all coming from a guy who fucking sucks ass in Mario Kart. 808 says, the thing I'm looking forward to most of all with mouse mode function is hopefully third parties might work on gaming keypads to go alongside it. Like that one Razer Tartarus thing, but with controller buttons. The issue there is the game needs to support it, and none of these games actually support full mouse and keyboard.
Yet.
Yeah, but like, for example, Cyberpunk supports mouse and keyboard, but the mouse, the input lag is insane.
Have you tried Quake? Because I know Quake was like the only game that had full mouse and keyboard support on Switch 1. Have you tried it again on Switch 2?
No, I'm sure it would be fine.
Right.
I'm sure, but that's a situation where a game had it, but it wasn't necessarily like developed that way. It was just a PC port that just so happens that. That's the same thing with Cyberpunk. It just so happens to have mouse and keyboard support because it's a PC game. Fortnite deliberately removed mouse and keyboard support. So these are all things that need to be developed for. So I'm actually a little disappointed with how mouse and keyboard stuff is going to end up working on the Switch too. Crazy Wild Chris, Will's Flash shirt is so freaking dope.
An old shirt. I don't even remember where I got it from.
Target.
Probably.
Check Tech says no YouTube and Twitch is a bummer with a screen that size and the kickstand. Oh, the Switch 2.
Switch 2, yeah.
It'll get it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is confirmed coming. I think maybe this will be the system that has like streaming apps on it. Who knows?
I mean, YouTube is coming, so I don't know. Anyway, there was another one that he sent this one to me in a DM, but I kind of want to. I don't think you want to do it.
Okay.
This guy said, Will said he got his headphones for $80 in 2019, and who was president in 2019? The economy is slowly getting better under Trump, and I don't like him, but I've noticed prices coming down recently.
Where?
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You were talking about how your headphones are more expensive.
Yes.
So what? What's the point? I don't understand what they're getting at here.
No, I don't either.
What metric are we going by
Yeah.
for the economy getting better?
Is crypto taking off? Is that what's working? The phone? He's selling a mobile phone for $500.
What's the phone about?
It's not just a phone. It's a whole wireless service.
Should I get this phone? I feel like I have to get the phone.
Have you seen the phone?
No, I haven't. I heard about it, but I didn't actually
It's the
see
T1, the Trump phone. It's gold. It's got 3 cameras on the back. And it runs Android 15.
Trump's new phone. This is via CNN.
Yeah.
What does he call CNN?
Fake news.
Oh, well, fake.
He doesn't have. I don't.
He had a fun.
He doesn't have a cute name for it.
Oh my God! Go away, Eric Trump. Just show me. Show me the thing, man. This is CNN.com. Oh, it's gold.
Yeah.
An American. That looks like it's got a little like haphazardly placed American flag on the back.
It is so poorly photoshopped. It says what did it say the camera was?
There's 4 cameras?
No, there's one in the front. And then
no, that was a T-Mobile.
Yeah.
It's just a T-Mobile phone that has been
well, no,
emblazoned in gold.
No, that's I gotta hold on. Because look, the phone is clearly photoshopped.
Right.
It's a clearly bad Photoshop.
That was 3 cameras. Yeah.
So they're talking about, like, I think how they could get this phone, like what kind of phone this could basically just be a reskin of.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I heard it's like missing like a lot of basic.
Yeah,
like 5G. It doesn't have 5G.
It didn't list the processor.
Mm-hmm.
And it said that the camera was I think 15,000 milliamp hour camera.
Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have 5G, but then people were like, well, it doesn't have 5G. People think 5G gives you COVID.
Right.
So maybe that's why it doesn't.
Well, because it does, Bob.
What's this that you're sending me now? Stellar Blade rockets to 1 million PC sales in 3 days. Cool.
Yeah, apparently it's really popular on.
Because you can mod the shit out.
Yeah, you could see vulva.
That's a character in the character in the game.
So, okay. 2019, when I first bought the headphones, that's for my father-in-law.
Yeah.
I bought it for him. $80 when I bought the headphones. I bought them again 2 years later in 2021 for myself because my old ones broke. They were $100. And if I wanted to buy them now, they're $110. So where are prices going down?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of inflation.
Yeah.
Not just headphones. Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, on this show we talk about console prices, tech industry prices, and fucking tariffs and what. We haven't talked about tariffs in a long time.
That's true.
Things have kind of evened out on the tariff front.
For now. Wait till tomorrow.
The tariff craze has calmed a little bit.
Yes. No, now we're on to sending troops to California. Anyway.
Yes. All right, we're in the chat, by the way. I don't know if you guys could even see us. We've been having technical difficulties the whole time. Ethan from the H3 podcast did get so mad about saying you cannot steer off the cliff as it auto steer you away as it's made for kids. Yeah, it's awesome. Not falling off during Rainbow Road is fucking sick, dude. But I play videos on CarPlay? What are you talking about? Did you hear about 2,800 Switch 2s were stolen? I did.
Really?
$1.4 million worth of Switch 2s, I think.
Really? When was this?
Today, a truck full of them going to GameStop, apparently.
Oh, wow.
R.I.P. Anyway. Has the podcast always been 720p? No, I lowered the resolution because I thought it would help, and I think it did a little bit. But I gotta do an overhaul of how all this shit works. Because so in my other streaming setup, I've been trying to get 1440p because Twitch now supports it.
Right.
It's a goddamn mess. This I didn't touch anything.
Yeah.
At least as in terms of the stream, I think. But I fucked something up. I don't know. So I gotta figure that out. Can I add you on Switch? No. I got too many friends.
Battlefront 2 is popular right now because it's an old EA game that they have abandoned, so it no longer has microtransactions in it. So it's just a complete game now that's fun. Interesting.
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah.
I also just think that there's not a lot of Star Wars games that people can jump into and have a fun little time with.
None that you can like just easily jump in, jump out, because like the Jedi games are like a commitment. Outlaws is a commitment.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Battlefront is it's all of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Yeah, I mean, I gotta finish Outlaws.
Yeah, I took a break because I wanted to like actually play Ghost of Tsushima, and I didn't know when I was gonna get to.
I'm playing Death Stranding right now. I'm downloading Assassin's Creed again because I'm trying to give it a try on this Aya Neo 3 because it's got 20 gigabytes of VRAM, and I gotta see what that looks like on a game like Assassin's Creed. I guess that funny enough, I have Bob on Switch. I think it was when he did Smash Brothers tournament. Yeah, I add people sometimes when I live stream to join a game, but with Mario Kart, if you want to join a game, it's as easy as typing in the code, so it's nice and easy with that. But sometimes I'll be playing a game and I will have to add people. Guys, thanks for hanging out. We gotta go.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for chatting with us. As always, the WULFF DEN Podcast is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on twitch.tv/WULFFDEN. If you can't make the show for any reason at all, we always put the archive version up over on youtube.com/WULFFDEN Podcast. So you can go and check us out over there on demand whenever you want. If you prefer to listen to us rather than watch us, you can do that as well because we're also on audio podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Audible.com. The list goes on. If you listen to us rather than watch us, then that means you didn't see me playing with my eyes for the past 30 minutes because it's got something in it and it's irritating. But no matter where you get the show from, folks, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us because that helps us with placement on all those respective platforms.
I'll stream Thursday probably. Hopefully I'll have figured out all my bullshit. Also, I'm hoping to have an Aya Neo 3 video out on Thursday as well because I know everybody's just dying to hear about the Aya Neo 3.
Of all the handhelds that came out.
Yeah. Sounds like the most important one.
Yeah.
Go say hello to AJ. Goodbye.
Bye.